What's good, family? Welcome to my channel. I'm Slain. Today, I'm going to show you guys the 5 plugins that I use basically to do a basic mix inside of the MPC. And then I jam over my music. I play some chords and I also do a lead sound. If I could sing, I would, but I can't, so I won't. But thank you for clicking on my content and let's go. All right, the first sound that I got is a pad. And you can see I put an EQ on there. I put an air para EQ. That's my go-to EQ. An air compressor. I put that on there also. And you can see I'm compressing it at about minus 8 dB. You can see it. Just to smooth out the sound. And if you go to my EQ, you can see that I've cut out a lot of the lows, the high cut, the low cut. I've cut everything above 15. I want to let it have a lot of top end to it, but not too much. And then the low end frequency, you know, since it's an instrument, most of my instruments, I cut out the 200 hertz range just to clean that up for my drums so my drums sound more clear. All right, right here I got my bass. Turn that up a little bit. Okay, and on my bass, I got a parametric EQ, a compressor, and I also got an air tube drive, which is saturation. So with the EQ, on the low bass end to about 200, I added about 1.5 decibels. The low mids, I've also added about 1.1 decibels. The high mids, right around the 600 hertz, I've added just a little more. This isn't a synthesizer bass. It's more like a bass guitar. So I didn't want to cut out too much of my highs with this particular bass. And if inside of the compressor, you can see right here, I started off with the light crunch, and then I tweaked it. The saturation is pretty high. Let me turn it down some. Just to add some harmonics to the bass to give it, you know, a little bit more color. Here's a guitar right here. Pretty simple. I didn't put anything on there. It's pretty much giving me the exact sound that I want. So same thing with the pluck. I think it sounds pretty good. So I like the way that sounds. No need to. Everything doesn't have to have an EQ on it. I mean, most things need an EQ, but you don't necessarily have to put an EQ on there just to have an EQ on there. So some stuff you just, you know, you can just let it ride out. All right, and I've got another pad right here. All right, and of course I need to tame that sound. There's a lot going on in there. So, but I've got the highs up right around 10 kilohertz. I've turned it up there. The high mids I've turned down. The low mids I turned down. And the lows I've turned down. So this EQ is pretty much just giving me a bunch of high end noise. I start off with a preset. The compressor is to keep it. You can, if you've seen the wave file, it's a lot of unevenness. So I put this compressor on here, and I set the ratio and the threshold to pretty much compress that higher part that's on there. But you can see right here. Let's go in there. Compressor is compressing that. Alright, so that's it for my instruments. Now let's go check out the drums. So if we look at my main kick drum right here, you can see again, I put an EQ and a compressor on there. So if we look at it, and I turned up the highs on it right around 3.4 just to give it a little bit more attack. The high mids I left the same. The low mids I turned up right around 260 hertz. And the low end I turned up right around 100 just to give it, you know, a little bit more roundness to it at the bottom end. The compressor I got on here, again, just to tame it so that it doesn't get out of hand. Let's go check out the sub mixer and see how I got those set up. So let's go to channel mixer. And in here, you can see I got sub mix 6. This is where my my pads are coming to. And submix 7 is where I have my guitar and my pluck coming to. All right, you look inside of submix 4. This is where my hi-hats and any percussion is coming to. And that's pretty much it. You know, this is a basic mix. This is how I do all of my tracks right here. You can see how simple it is. Just, you know, you don't have to overcomplicate it. You don't have to overthink it. And then this is the point too where if I wanted to, like on my submix 6, I've got an Air Flavor Pro down here at the bottom, and this is for my my pad sounds, just to give it a little more retro sound to it. This is how your sound is going to be processed. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So you don't want to put Air Flavor Pro at the top and then try to EQ that, because that's going to make it a little bit more difficult. And then that way you can start off with your compressor first or your EQ first. But either way, you're starting off with a basic effect. And that way you can go ahead and go down the line and mix from there. I've got another string I want to put over top of this. And then, you know, I want to end it with a nice melody over top. So let's check that out. All right. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe and share the content. Help my channel grow. I'd really appreciate it. There's more to come. Thank you. Peace. Swing.